lot of people trash music schools now. Oh, well, that's that stiff. I don't know, man. There's human beings in there that you can play with every day. Everybody's trapped in there together. So you can really learn to play probably a lot of different styles. With people.
Yeah, I get what people say about the schools being lacking in certain departments when it comes to like really getting a well-rounded education. But I feel like the main thing is that they give you the tools so that as long as you have the attitude to go after the things to learn, that you
Sure.
can at least access it through the college and the community around the college.
Yeah, I think that's a great. I dig it. I didn't. That wasn't a popular thing. I had to kind of. I mean, I had to. I went on the road right after high school. They would have. I could have gone to American River Junior College as a drummer. And now they got a great band and great teachers out there, but the band was pitiful when I went there. And so a guy offered me a gig in the mid '60s, '65, for $300 for 250 or $300 a week on the road. So I took off. My mother even said, "No, man, don't go to school. That's more money than my parents made." You know.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah. So I took off, and I've been working I never looked back. But I do, when I have students that have the college background, I do see where I'm lacking in things, and I'm like, man, I'm too old now, I think, but man, I don't have the time because of my schedule, but I wouldn't mind going to music school. And, I
Yeah.
mean, wow, man, these kids, my students read better than I ever am going to read in this lifetime. Because they've been doing it in these schools, and they have all that big band experience. You can't get that on the street too easily anymore. You
Yeah.
know?
I mean, I feel like the more you know, the more you don't know. It's like they say, it's
Yeah.
there's always so much more, in music or in any art. But I mean, like I'm the same way. I see examples of reading that I'm not sure I could ever aspire to. You hear about like you hear about say Vinnie Colaiuta going into audition for like Frank Zappa and sight reading insane charts or like the kind of when I hear guys talking in the city about some of the charts that new artists are bringing into like places like Smalls and how complex they're getting with the arrangements. I mean, I feel like there's just the sky's the limit when it comes to breaking down things even as seemingly simple as the notes on the page.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have that kind of a background, and I've had to. Now, if I can take a chart home overnight, or like let's say we have a rehearsal on Thursday and the gig is Saturday, I have a day or two to look things over. Then I'm cool. I read good enough to do that. But if I have to go in and read where they're going to show me very complicated dot and tide figures in different time systems, and then also they're going to tell me what drum and what cymbal to hit and all that. Oh man, then I got to look at that for a minute. I can't walk in and cut that. I've never even thought about that.
Yeah.
I never thought about music in those terms. And sometimes when I hear those guys playing those complicated arrangements, I play with Brand X, man. That stuff was extremely complicated. So I can do it. I can teach myself to do it. I'm not completely blind as far as reading, and I can use enough savvy to figure things out because I've been challenged a lot. But when I'm in the audience and I hear some of that, I'm not a big fan of that stuff, man. It usually doesn't swing, and I'm thinking, why? Why would you want to do that? I mean, I'd rather hear a cat play a 32 bars and swing his butt off, man. Myself, you know what I mean? Like, but I suppose if you're in that bag and you like that style, and you're really good at it, then of course you're going to want to use it. You're not going to want to not use it. So I understand that too. For me, it's not a big, I'm not all about it. I never really listened to Zappa very much. Vinnie Colaiuta's a genius, so we'll get that one out of the way right
Oh
away.
yeah. No question.
Not just reading wise, like his whole scene, but Yeah, some guys can do that, and I think, and I know, what notice about some of my students, some of them actually have a talent for that, just like I do for swinging or something. They just get it, you know.
Yeah.
They don't. They can jot my. I'll play some difficult passages, and they're writing it down almost as fast as I can play it, almost. And I'm like, well, how do you even do that? And he goes, well, they're just trained like that. You know,
Yeah.
now, I dig that. I'd like to have that. That would be cool.